Fuzzle Bukkit.
Let's play!
It's the Bookums Show! It's the Bookums Show! It's the only show in the world with the Bookums! Hi! Veg is sick today, so unfortunately, you have me instead. And I am Mrs. Tricky. That's me right here, Mrs. Tricky. And I'm also known as Bookums. So today, I don't really play a whole lot of games, not just today, but all the time. I don't really play a whole lot of games, except I love to play Plants vs. Zombies. It is my favorite game in the whole wide world. I don't know why. I absolutely love it. So when you play Plants vs. Zombie, it starts out giving you a basic intro of the game. Essentially, the point of the game is there are a bunch of zombies and they are attacking your lawn and your neighborhood, and you have to collect sun, you have to plant plants, and then you have to make sure that the zombies do not reach your house, as it says obviously here in the intro. So it's gonna start out fairly slow. Right now we have what I call the pea shooters. The pea shooters are your most basic plant in Plants vs. Zombies. There's not a whole lot to the game to begin with, like I said before, but it gets a little bit faster and a little bit more agile. As things go on, you get more and more types of zombies and more types of plants to play with. So right now we're just doing the basic pea shooters, shoot the basic zombies, so that you get a feel for it. It starts out really slow, but it actually gets fairly intense. The one thing that I don't really like about Plants vs. Zombies 1 is that they do not allow you to choose which levels you want to go to. It's basically, you start out, it shows you how to play the game, it gets a little bit more intense, it introduces you into the basic plants, and then you just keep going from there. So now we have, as you can see, the sunflower. What the sunflower does is it makes sun for you. Sun makes the sunflower. So you use the sun, which is worth 25 points each, to go ahead and buy other plants in the game. So it wants us to go ahead and start out with, as you saw, 3 different sun. And from there, it wants you to go ahead and build your base. Now, the thing about Plants vs. Zombies that I like so much is I'm a little bit OCD, and I have OCD tendencies. So being OCD, it's a very repetitive game, especially if you want to win, which I think is the point of most all video games, if not all video games. And it's very easy to understand, and you can play it if you are 5, if you are 15, if you're 50. I have gotten my nephew addicted to this game. He loves it. He used to sit and watch while I would play it when he was 3, and he's now 6, and it is still his favorite game ever. Like I said, it can be very simple, but it gets a lot harder. So again, kind of slow to start out with. Just collecting the sun, making sure that you have enough sun to go ahead and get the pea shooters. I don't have enough to get another one yet. The faster that you kill the zombies, the faster the level goes. The slower you kill the zombies, the slower the level goes. It's not very hard right now, not a lot of zombies coming out. The sun are kind of coming here and there, but fairly easy. So hopefully now we will see our final wave of zombies, and then we will get to move forward. Down here, you can see the level progress. At the beginning, obviously, we've only got one big wave. The waves are sort of delineated by this guy that comes out with the big flag. And usually when you have a wave, quote unquote, of zombies, you get a whole bunch of them coming at once, several of them coming in multiple rows. What plant did we get this time? This time from Bloom and Doom Seed Company, we got the Cherry Bomb. The Cherry Bomb blows up all zombies in an area. 150 sun to go ahead and use the Cherry Bomb. Ooh, we have a new zombie now. Looks like Conehead Zombie is going to join our mix. So we will do like they instructed us before, make sure that we start out and we have at least 3 sunflower to go ahead and start the game. Let's see if it's going to bring us a zombie before we have a plant on the board yet, or if that is still yet to come. Looks like they're not doing that yet. Oh no, here we go. We've got a zombie coming. I don't quite have a plant on the board yet. If you want to go ahead and build your sunflower first, sometimes you'll have enough time to do that, sometimes you won't. Again, this is the beginning of the game, so it's very easy, very sort of amateur at this point, very simple. Doesn't take a whole lot of skill, obviously, at this point to do it. Now, you can see I'm planting my sunflowers back here, and then I'm planting my pea shooters right here. And I try and do it in sort of a very meticulous manner. As things go on, what I prefer to do is actually put my sunflower a little bit ahead. I like to look at the level, figure out how many plants, pea shooters, or whatever types of plants I'm gonna have, and I like to go ahead and go backwards with them based on value. So, for example, if I know that I'm going to need 3 rows of plants to defend my yard, I will usually go ahead and go 1, 2, 3, and then start planting my sunflower then in the 4th row. Now, with the conehead zombies, you cannot quite kill 1 conehead zombie with only 1 pea shooter. You will actually have to go through and have 2 pea shooters. So it actually did that for us this time. They brought the conehead in the row, as you saw, that already had 2 plants in it. But you'll find out later on that, as I said, you cannot kill a conehead with only 1 pea shooter. You actually have to have 2 pea shooters to be able to kill a conehead. Now, what happens if I don't kill the zombies? Well, they keep coming and keep coming, obviously. They will try and get to my house. And if they get to my house, a lawnmower will go off, and the zombies will eat my brains. The game is, as I said, very repetitive, but it gets more of a storyline going the further that you get into it. You eventually find out that you have a neighbor. His name is Crazy Dave. And Crazy Dave sells you all kinds of plants and things out of his car. There are different things that you can do. You can have a plant house, like a greenhouse. You can grow different plants in your greenhouse, collect them. Let's see how the cherry bomb works. It's the final wave. Sorry, I didn't do it before, but boom! There you go. Powie, it said. And everything died. We got the next one, which is the walnut. The walnut is a nut that blocks the zombies and it protects my other plants. So I will probably want to use this plant to put in front of my plants, as I was telling you my strategy before, where I typically like to go ahead and put my higher value plants towards the back and my sunflowers up front. I'm actually going to do that in this level. So I'm going to say I'll probably want 3 rows of pea shooters, so I will go ahead and put the sunflower up front. The reason I do it that way is because in case if I'm not really on my game or I'm not playing very well, I can have them eat my sunflower, which only cost me 50 sun, as opposed to it actually eating 100 sun worth of plants. Let's go ahead and put a walnut right here so you can see exactly what it's like for a zombie to go ahead and eat the walnut. You can see essentially what it does. We're gonna go ahead and put another sunflower. Just finish my sunflower before I actually start to plant a pea shooter. Here we go, here's a zombie. We'll plant a pea shooter here. Now, I like to go for the typical line, but obviously depending on where these zombies are coming in at, I'm gonna want to go ahead and make sure that I keep shooting. So as you can see, it actually takes a fair amount of damage before it gets worn out. We'll go ahead and start shooting on it now. I'll let this guy go ahead and get in pretty close and probably eat some of my sunflower, just so you can see the difference between the walnut guy here and the actual eating of a regular plant, so you can see how much he helps you. I'll actually start shooting him now just because I don't want him to get all the way through the sunflower and then get run over by my lawnmower. Like I said, he can sustain a fair amount of damage, as you saw how much damage he took and how little damage my sunflower took before it was actually eaten. Here's the cone head, and again, we'll let you see how the cone head actually will not be able to be taken out by just one pea shooter here. And there's another cone head there. We'll get another one on him. So the other thing about Plants vs. Zombies, which can be kind of challenging, is before you can plant another plant, it actually has to recharge. So as you can see, these recharging, it will not allow me to select a plant. So right now I cannot select the sunflower because I just planted the one that he ate. Cannot replace him until after it is done recharging. So again, we went ahead and planted another walnut there just because I was screwing around, so I did not get him in on time. Oh, let's see another cone down here. So it gets a little bit more challenging. The more plants that you have, the more you can do. I don't typically like to use the cherry bombs or the bombs unless I really have to, unless there's a huge amount of zombies all of a sudden. When you get a really full board going, you can have a full line of walnuts or multiple lines of walnuts. It just really depends, again, on your preference. It's another thing that I really like about Plants vs. Zombies. Lots of ability to do many things. Some people will just sort of willy-nilly throw out a plant here, throw out a plant there, but I like to be strategic in my approach. Another thing that you may be noticing with these plants and their rechargeability is that some plants recharge slower than others. Like right now I'm going to use a cherry bomb right here in the middle, and this is actually going to recharge very, very slowly, as opposed to just using the pea shooter. You can already see it's recharging quite a bit faster than the cherry bomb. Now, once the last zombie is gone, you go ahead and get your treat or whatever it is that it's giving you. Now we've got a shovel. A shovel, it says, lets us dig up a plant to make room for another plant.